to go and win this open qualifier.
Cazadores have been screening or shutting down the 5100s. They did that on Abby, and they did that again here. The 5100s on the Refuse to Die team, World War II Fanatic, he only got one shot off, 279 damage. The other 5100, though, Anubis, was able to lock down a lot more damage, 6 for 8, 1694. But if we take a look at the IS-3, CES 28, 6 for 6, 2100 damage. Right below him, Logos, 1986, 5 for 5. Those IS-3s got the hits they needed. They got into the position that was needed, and they destroyed pretty much any defensive holdout.
Kufa knows how to play a T69, though. Look at that. Go back into this. Look how many kills he has. Yes, his damage isn't that great. He's at 5 kills. Now, you might look at that and say, well, how does he only how does he have 5 kills in such low hit points? Or damage dealt, rather.
It's a finisher.
This is finishing blows. That's exactly right. So a lot of these IS-3s are putting out a lot of damage. He's able to just do that finishing blow. Think, you don't want the IS-3 to do it. That's an average roll of 390. You don't want the AMX 5100s to do it. That's an average roll of 300. A T69, though, has the least overkill. It's only doing an average of 225. So if someone has 100 hit points left, you're going to save 100 damage by not using that AMX 5100, not using that IS-3, and just using the T69. Really, really cool stuff.
I actually feel like I want to map out the way Kufa went through that whole match. I mean, if I feel like I can do this, guys. So right at the beginning, he went right over here across the open, went and tried to find a T1. It was found elsewhere. He tried to get around a peak, but then he decided not a good idea. Went back around, waited. Once the spot happened on the hill, he went again in for a T1, and then he went back, and he said, and this is as everyone is also coming north again.
That's right.
So as he did that, he went all the way back to the window where he got a T1 kill. Then he went north again, got some great shots on a 5100, and look at this map is a mess right now with Kufa's movements. He goes again. I'm going to change colors because we're going to have to do that. He goes back around after that, and he even comes in to join a fight over here, where then he loops around more to kill another tank, and then finally another tank. And this is possibly ignoring other little moves and just driving around. He was everywhere that match, all over the fight in the T69, completely using the mobility of his tank. Fantastic job by Kufo.
And the T69 was supporting the whole time. I mean, that is not a guy. Here, I'm going to go to his screen real quick. He fired 11 shots. 10 of them were direct hits. 8 of them were penetrations. This is not a guy that's preparing to have the highest damaging tank out there. It's a support. He's going into the areas, he's saving his shots, making sure that they're counting at all times, and then just being able to finish a lot of these tanks and have the team just be all efficient. It's just great comprehensive play out of Kufa.
It's playing to the strengths of each tank.
Yeah.
And the T69, we dubbed that the finisher. It's called the finisher for a specific reason. And if you need any more clear reason than what Kufa did in that game, you're not going to find it. That's how to play the T69. Yeah. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to get match number 2 set up of Hunter by Hunter versus Sympasaurus Rex. Stay tuned. This is the semifinals for the WGLNA Season 2 qualifier number 1.
every fan of any game knows, betting on games adds more excitement and magnitude with each victory and defeat. Thanks to our knowledge of advanced nuclear physics and aerospace engineering, we found a way to have live betting for all of our Twitch TV viewers. Before every match, simply type into the chat !bet, the amount you want to wager, and a team that you're predicting. Betting closes as soon as the match begins. Everybody starts off with 10 points. If you lose your first 10, don't worry. You can always bet at least 10, even if you wind up at 0 once again. If you're feeling hot and lucky, you can bet up to a maximum of 100 points on a match. You can only bet points you have. Each week, we give prizes away to those who top our leaderboard. We're giving away gold and premium tanks to the highest scorers. After the prizes have been awarded, we will then reset the scores for the next round of betting. To catch the full schedule of matches, head on over to WGLNA.com. Good luck, because you're going to need it.
Welcome back to the WGLNA. I'm Clutch, joined by Greetorp, and also Rookkill to the end of the desk, to the far side, who I can't reach and try to take off his hat because you get really, really upset if I did that. There he is. This day in history,
Awesome.
the American troops went over to Korea in 1950 to start the partition of the country, which my grandfather was actually involved in when he was in the Navy. And still to this day, there's North Korea and South Korea now. And there was a lot of tank warfare that happened. T-34-85 was used a lot in the mountainous ranges, but the Pershing could shoot right through that tank. Unfortunately, it was not very well equipped for the mountainous ranges, and so they would upfit the Jumbo Shermans and also the EZ-8s, I believe.
Not Jumbo Shermans. Very few of those were ever made. So
The EZ-8s.
EZ-8s,
For good reason.
that's
I mean,
tracking.
their hull is just...
I know. They only
it's
needed
made
4.
of depleted uranium.
They only needed 4. A lot of the models used in video games use the Jumbo Sherman model.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
the best tank ever.
Yeah. But they use those, but they also outfitted the EZ-8s, which are the E-8s instead of the E-2s, which is the Jumbo Sherman. And they did better on the mountainous ranges, and they also added duckbills to the side of those tanks to... It wasn't just better traction, but it was better flotation of the tanks in the mud.
Very interesting. You know, it's always cool to see like these little innovative things that are added, and you always ask yourself, "Oh, why did they do that?" And then it's a very, very lean way of explaining, "Oh, well, you know, we have to go through the mud, and what better thing to do than to have these little things on the side that just allow us to traverse it a little bit easier."
Because the engineers have to explain that to
Yeah.
the Army Corps to say, why do the taxpayers need to pay for this? Like, well, so we don't get caught in the mud and get ambushed and our tanks stolen and then used against us.
Or not even that. I mean, there's probably ways to better the tracks, right? There's much better ways to just make sure that you're never, ever stuck in mud. And they have to say, like, okay, well, we can't change the tank. What can we add to it
Yeah.
that's very cheap?
Especially if it's deployed.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I'm not going to bring it back to the factory. Yeah, that was the innovation of technology in warfare. And wars always increase the level of technological innovations. It's a sad fact, but it's true.
That's why we should go to Syria.
No!
Yeah, just kidding.
Whoa.
I'm not bringing political.
Well, Clutch,
Whoa.
just a few other tanks are actually a few other tanks
Well, we won't
in North
discuss
Korea,
it.
guys, were the Chaffee. You did have the M4 Sherman, and then you also had the Patton, which actually made its way to the Korean War. So just a few other tanks out there that you guys might not have thought of. I know the Sherman was not the only one there. You had tanks like the Patton and the Chaffee. Very little tank. Did not. It's very light. Very
It's funny
poorly
is-
armored, man.
Yeah. You know what's light and tiny is the M22 Locust. I've seen that in real life. I'm taller than that tank.
Really?
It was tiny.
Could you fit inside?
I don't think so.
Oh,
the,
man.
the Chieftain couldn't fit inside, at least.
Well, the Chieftain's a pretty
I
tall
could fit
dude.
inside then.
Chieftain is about 2 or 3 inches taller than I am.
Yeah, I actually saw him inside the mouse in the video he just did about the what
He
was it?
could
The
fit inside that.
Yeah.
well, I mean, he actually got to go inside one.
Yeah, Chieftain's Hatch.
Yeah.
Check that out, wargaming.net or worldoftanks.com to watch it.
Yeah, although he had to do like an outside the Chieftain's hatch because there's not really anything in the mouse. They kind of cleaned that whole thing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Outside the Chieftain's.
and he actually had to enter. I think he entered it through the engine compartment or the cooling.
If they took it out.
Because there's nothing in it. There's
That's
no
a
engine. There's
huge
just the barrel. There's nothing else really there. It's such a cool tank though, and I'm so I'm jealous of him because he got to go all the way to Russia to go see that thing. I mean, he was at Kubinka, and he gets to go chill out inside a mouse. No one else gets to do that, really. But the Chieftain does.
I probably could.
Well, you should do that. Can you bring me along?
We'll get a size variation because a lot of the German drivers for the tanks were 5'2" and below.
Oh, that's way
They
shorter
were
than
tiny.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like even you might be a little bit too tall for some of the German tanks, but the Panzer IV they got to sit inside in. I could barely sit inside the driver's seat for the Sherman,
Wow.
but that was cool though to sit in there.
So it's like perfect for me.
Yeah. I mean, just how it was designed. But you want to feel weak and you want to feel like your bones can break easily. Knock against the tank. It is baffling. I didn't fully comprehend really or fully appreciate the reverence of being around these giant war machines and how they were used so much in World War II and beyond. It's fascinating. So if you do have a chance to go to any tank museum, definitely go.
What kills me is you have these really well-armored things, like literally you knock on it and you don't hear anything, right? Because nothing vibrates.
Yeah.
Your hand vibrates, that's about it. And then you realize that in less than 0.01 seconds, something is penetrating this armor. And it very easily, too. I mean, that really tells you how much firepower is going into it. And it just humbles you a lot because at any point in time, you could be dead in a tank. Like, if you're operating one of those things, you could be flat out dead just on how fast these shells are penetrating these tanks.
It is scary, man. It's scary. But a lot of cool stories about tankers. You guys can definitely check out. Wargaming has a lot of fascinating videos, so make sure to go to their website for more information. We, on the other hand, are getting ready for Hunter by Hunter versus Siposaurus Rex. Two teams that were familiar with their clans pretty much. Hunter by Hunter is some of the talent from Cazadores.
We could just say Cazadores B team.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
farm
These
team.
guys are obviously really good, but it's like the best Spanish-speaking clan against the best English-speaking clan in North America. That's right. That's what it comes down to today.
Yeah. Siposaurus Rex from Simp. And some of these members you're familiar with, correct, Rukil?
Yeah, there's players like A-Large over there. Shout out to him, I guess. And actually, let's see who actually is going to be showing up today.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the game screen.
Well, actually, this isn't. Is this Siposaurus Rex?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Okay, yeah.
It's Okeano.
Okeano.
But he's going to be benched.
Yeah. It's not a completely Simp team. There are guys that are not from Simp, like Fruitcake for me is from Aces, who actually Aces went to Eurosteel. They made a team that went to the last Eurosteel. I got to get to Eurosteel on the Red Sky team, but I did not, sadly, get to go to Russia. But the Aces was one of the teams that went there, and they props to them for going there. But you don't see any Aces teams around. And I'm actually surprised because they used to be able to make a decent team.
Well, lots of teams are vying for the prize pool of $100,000. Fulcrum Gaming is a testament that, yes, we do pay out the money. Simp just got their check, too, and they're really happy about that. Fulcrum took home $50,000. Simp, $25,000.
Actually, 30,000.
Thursday.
If you
Mac G count the
G's
MVP.
MVP, yeah.
That's right. But now it's time for battle number 1, ladies and gentlemen, to find out if either of these two teams will make it to Season 2. It is Hunter by Hunter versus Siposaurus Rex. The map is Ensk. Let's jump to the battle. The red team, we have Hunter by Hunter spawning to the north and to the south. The blue team, it is Siposaurus Rex. Brutorp, what do we have for tanks?
2 1500s, 2 IS-3s, and a T-69. I would normally say for both sides, but look at that. A 1390 is going to be chosen over here. And, you know, I've talked a lot about the 1390. I feel like it's difficult to really harness the power of the 1390 in a map like Ensk.
Well, maybe it's the protege of Kufo. We did see Kufo change over to a WZ-132 on mines, which was a bit of a surprise. But let's go ahead and see how the lineup looks for the tank positions. We got two of the heavy tanks, AMX 5100, Onizuka and Lincoln, covering the one line. But nothing is spotted yet. All the way to the east, we have one of the light tanks. Is it Aramir? No, it is Stasis.
I say a stasis.
Stasis.
Yeah.
Could be the one.
I
I want
don't know.
to say Venezuela, VZLA, but not sure if that's where he's from.
Maybe it's Estasis.
Stasis. Stasis. But he's going to try to scout anything coming from the east side. Nothing yet.
On the other side, we have an east side from Sympasaurus Rex. Legit and Revelator are not only reverse angling, but they're reverse angling. They're actually forward angling.
Forward angling, but to the reverse.
Yeah.
So they can move forward.
What do I mean by that? Well, normally it's you position your tank right here, and then you back up, and you're looking out. But they're turning around. So normally forward is driving this way, and then they turn their turret. And as you can see, this is their behind right here.
Uh-huh.
And what this does, it makes it a little bit harder. There are some spots right around here where you can hit, and you do expose when you are reverse angling. That can be very, very difficult. So when you do this angle is really nice, and of course, it kind of protects your turret a little bit here. Everything's just so much better with reverse angling in this IS-3.
And you also have a tarp to cover the tank.
Exactly. So that actually, just like a fence, it defends against a lot of shells.
Just like a fence.
Yeah.
Well, we're seeing a defensive play from both teams. Not much movement yet. 7 minutes, 16 seconds on the clock. But the 5-minute marks when a lot of these teams that play a little bit cautious in battle number one, feeling each other out really, and to see, okay, they're going to play aggressive, they're going to play passive. Let's play counter to what they're doing. Let's have a crab battle going on, perhaps.
I feel like they took who's that SpongeBob SquarePants character?
Mr. Krabs.
No, not Mr. Krabs. The
But he's
Squidward.
Squidward?
They took like his face expression and put him on this crab.
Squidward doesn't smile,
Squidward
though.
doesn't. Yeah, Squidward never smiles.
Whatever, guys. You guys know way too much about that.
It's a good show.
Is it?
Nah.
I've never really given it a chance. I'm
I
going
don't
to be
know.
honest.
I've been an adult for
That,
too long to remember.
Hello Kitty. Well, clearly not Clutch. Clearly not if you told me Squidward never laughs.
Yeah, that's just cultural facts, man.
Oh. Squidward is everywhere.
That's the potpourri segment of Jeopardy, you know? Everybody knows that.
I'm so bad.
Onizuka and Lincoln, no movement yet in the 5100s from the one line, but one of the light tanks, Aramir, holding up in the window side. And he does have the Cazadori Hunter symbol on the back of his tank. Always love the symbols and insignias that Wargaming allows to put on your tanks. Very, very cool. Gives you a nice little brand for your clan. Fort de France is some of the branding we're seeing on the 5100. Also the camo that you guys can get. If you're interested in playing World of Tanks, it is free to play. Simply go to worldoftanks.com, sign up now. Also, World of Warplanes currently in open beta. The accounts have been linked. I watched Soviet play some World of Warplanes earlier today. So if you love tanks, you love the action that it provides, imagine flying in the air nonstop and shooting stuff. That's all Warplanes is in a nutshell, but it is a lot of fun. LEOX in the 1390 still holding down in his flag cap area. No spotting yet for either teams. Am I right, Rookhill? I'm not seeing anyone spotted yet.
Out of the blue team, Sympasaurus Rex, we're not seeing really any movement. They are just sitting so still. I'm actually wondering why they're not trying to do something more active with possibly their T69. You've got Fruitcake for me sitting way in the back, just in a little bush. He's got his front there, poking right down. I feel like this is a waste of a lot of potential for this tank. It's so mobile. We saw Kufo do a fantastic job with his T69. That's the kind of play I'd love to see out of the Aces player, Fruitcake for me right now. I just wish.
There's the AA gun or the anti-infantry machine gun for the 5100s. As a reminder, we're going to be playing some tank companies after the finals tonight, since we only have 3 matches. So make sure to join us for that. We're going to be starting off with some medium tanks. And if you have any questions, just ask us on Twitter. But all you have to do to make a tank company really is one person to make it, invite your friends, have enough people, and start about the same time as we do, and hopefully we can see each other on the battlefield.
Hey, Large, just finally moving up, guys.
All right, let's take a look at A-Large.
Yes.
Oh, and he's going to spot out
And he
Hayox.
gets killed.
Hayox is going to be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
A-Large kind of moved out really alone. I felt like maybe you should have supported him, because look at his position. No one's there to support him when something gets spotted. There's 5100 worst player.
Popped out around the other side. At least one hit against a 1390 would be better than nothing. Better than a poke in the eye. That's what happened. LEOX poked A-Large 2 in the eye so hard he exploded.
So it looks like they just chose Ensk in the beginning here just to feel each other out.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Or at least
is
get it out of the way.
most likely going to be a draw here. 3 minutes. Neither of these teams are looking to take any position. I mean, you need position to be aggressive. Actually, I shouldn't say you need it. You want position to be aggressive to increase your chances of having that aggression work out. And with these two teams just staying put, losing the T1 Cunningham is going to actually put Sympasaurus Rex a little bit further behind and make them more probable to stay defensive the whole game rather than having the T1.
And now they're kind of throwing Cinnabar far forward, not really moving up at all. Everyone else is staying in their positions, but they're going to send Cinnabar out there in a way that I really don't feel like they're doing anything but sending these T1s forward to find out what Hunter x Hunter is actually doing, so maybe they can know for the future what their strat is. At the very least, they know Hunter x Hunter is not in the east, I'd say. I'd say that 1390 position we saw earlier that killed A-Large would indicate to me that the team is more to the west.
Yeah, that's what we see with Cinnabar right now is, hey guys, I see nothing. If there's one tank up ahead of me, then that's one location. But the spread slightly more beneficial for Hunter by Hunter. I'm really, really surprised how far back Sympasaurus is playing this. I would think that they would at least have one of the heavy tanks going over to the west side, hiding in one of those city buildings to try to quell a fast advancement, at least at the 2-minute mark. There is no fast advancement, so that's not happening, but at least to slow down the type of push into the flag area. But they're holding back. And like you said, Greed Torp, most likely going to be a draw here unless we get an 8-point tier advantage or a very, very fast battle between these two teams.
It does look like Hunter x Hunter does want to move out. We see tanks moving from Hunter x Hunter around the map, so I think they're going to try and do something as this comes to a close. Do that very, very characteristic last-second attempt that we've seen out of Cazadori's teams in the past. So it could work out to that, but it's at this point, I don't think Sympasaurus Rex is really in a position that could be an aggressed on. And seeing as Hunter x Hunter hasn't really done all that much scouting themselves, I don't think either team is really in a position to try and break the other's position, or a last-ditch attempt to get 8 points will actually come to work.
56 seconds left on the clock. No movement from either team, except the back and forth of Helio X in the 1390. All he's doing is just wasting gas. But he is scouting back and forth here, at least on patrol. And there's a standstill. We have a, I want to say a rectangular position with one fulcrum center.
More like a pentagon.
Well, but it's not really.
Here's
it's only pointed one way. Oh, here's one of the light tanks now, finally making a move. Down to the south, he pushes. He is able to scout one of the heavy tanks. 17 seconds left on the clock, though. Nothing's going to happen. No tanks are going to be destroyed. It's going to be a draw, folks. In battle number 1, we see this. I mean, even the pro teams, we've seen this happen. Trying to knock out. Oh, looks like they were able to kill one of the T1s. Okay, 3 seconds left on the clock. 2, 1. And it's going to be a draw. So, with that map out of the way, draw happens. Which map would you like to see, Greed Torp? You know the correct answer is Prohorovka.
Steps.
Really? Okay.
I like Steps over Proc because I feel like Proc, you can be incredibly defensive on the map. Although you can in Steps, but if you want to be aggressive, let's say you are Hunter by Hunter, or you are Sympasaurus Rex, I think choosing the south side and really stopping your opponents from just camping in the bottom west part of the map is a good way to really have some sort of engagement.
I would prefer to keep that card of Steps in my pocket until game 4, maybe even game 5, because I really like it as a defensive play with either to the east if you spawn to the north, or the rocks to the south. And if you're up and all you have to do is draw to win, that's when I would play that card. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's just one strategy. There's multiple strategies here that people can use. All right, folks, it was a draw. We're going to get ready for battle number 2 after we take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. WGLNA Season 2 Qualifier 1 continues after this. Welcome back to the garage. Let's take a look at combat tactics of the IS-3 against similar tier tanks. First up, the KV-4. With a turret the size of a small bedroom, it's hard not to miss this tank. Try to stay close up when engaging this tank if possible. Aim for the nose plate, auxiliary turrets, and sides of the turret. When up against the Tiger II, you want to be up close and personal since distance will favor your opponent. Again, aim for the nose plate and the hull sides. The T-34 has a higher damage output, but the IS-3 has a higher rate of fire. Like most Western tanks, you want to aim for the hull of the tank rather than the front of the turret. With a low profile, sloped armor, speed, and high damage, the IS-3 is a powerful ally and a worthy opponent for any team. And that does it for the IS-3. Have fun with this superb tank in the battlefield, and we'll see you next time in the garage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WGLNA. As a reminder, again, we're having tank companies after the final. So this is the second semifinal. Afterwards, will be the final of the two victorious teams. Not Victoria's Secret, unfortunately. I was a fan. And after that, we're going to have tank companies. So make sure to join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You get a chance to play with one of the best scouting tankers in the North American region. Also myself and Rootkill. So that'll be a lot of fun.
One of the best T-32s in the region as well.
I was calling you the best scout.
Yeah, I scout really well the T-32, that 400 view range. It's fantastic. Hold down position.
I'll take it.
It's great.
I'll take it.
Thank you so
Rootkill,
much.
confirm?
I can play the Chaffee. You want to play the Chaffee? I'll play the Chaffee.
The T-32 is a fantastic scout. I once took that thing right across Prohorovka, made it all the way to the mid, scout medal, and actually even got, patrol duty in my T-32. It also works on Malinovka, just so you guys know.
How can just roll that thing all the way out to the middle?
Throw optics on it. You got a great scout. It works fantastically, guys. Try it.
Actually, you can do that with any tank really on Malinovka.
Not an IS-3.
No, you can. Trust me.
No.
Try.
You're gonna get so far out in the field before you spot anything. You're gonna be like,
but Rootkill, everybody's doing it.
Was that White Park we played yesterday?
Or
City? What map was it where I went off the bridge?
that was Westfield.
Westfield. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking White Park.
It's good driving that clutch.
Yeah, thanks.
I followed you, though.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause
Like
you were shooting at me. I thought, there's the T1. He's going to go cap the base. Go for it. And he started shooting me. I was like, I'm not going to give you the pleasure, sir. And there I went. And I yelled freedom on the way down.
Andre killed me as well. It was
I killed a lot of you guys.
Just like that part in Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, where he goes over the cliff.
There was a big fat 3 next to my number. It was awesome. -3.
Yeah. Well, I got to thank Tofu Smurf. He gave me some good positioning on that map and where to hold down on the T-32. Because that hill is a little bit, they kind of spawned kind of close where those heavies were, but I got on the hill and just kept arcing down.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get another try tonight.
Perhaps we'll see what maps we will fight on the tank companies, because we don't really get to choose. We just press a button and join.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Anyway, guys, we are loading up into steps pretty soon here. They're just going over the tank picking phase. Now, just to clarify, you guys, with how the map choice works directly after a draw in the beginning phases for the qualifiers, whoever picked the map in the beginning stages can pick the second map or defer that option to their opponents. Once they defer, they get to choose the spawning points. So it looks like Steps is going to be our next map. And so far let's go into my screen real quick. They have a 13, nope, they had a 1390. 2 T1s on both sides, of course. T69s and 1390s being chosen. So you can definitely see that you're kind of waiting until the last possible second, or the last a couple slots. Let's say I was bringing out 2 T32s. I don't want them to be hard countered so incredibly much. So you leave that to the end, and then you really make that judgment call whether or not to bring those T32s or not, or go with something really, really standard. It looks like we're going to have a very